from Memorial Park for the 100th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window once again right here from Memorial Park, where we're seeing some wind out here this afternoon, as you can tell and probably hear through my microphone. Still a good crowd though out here at Memorial Park. Of course, we're heading into the final weekend of Apple Blossom Festival, and temperature's really not that bad. And this weekend, I'll tell you what, it will be spectacular. As we take a look at our weekend outlook, of course, the Grand Parade is at 11 o'clock, the Milk Growers Grand Parade. The Kiwanis Pancake Breakfast also happens Saturday morning, and it should be fantastic. 79 our high temperature here in Wenatchee on Saturday, 52 the low. And as we move into the final day of Apple Blossom on Sunday, just as nice with a temperature of 78 degrees and a low of 52. By the way, look, the top of your screen there on Sunday at Spokane, it's Bloomsday weekend in Spokane, and things there look nice as well with temperatures in the mid-70s. We'll have more on your Grand Parade forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. Anti-abortion groups from throughout the country will be in Wenatchee Saturday with a wide variety of events planned, including a demonstration of sorts during the Apple Blossom Grand Parade. And the biggest yet, delegation from our sister city, Misawa, Japan, was welcomed to town Wednesday during a ceremony outside of City Hall. But first, we begin tonight. A local family is traumatized after a prominent attorney is accused of a hit-and-run accident late last week in Wenatchee. Peter A. Fraley of the Ogden Murphy Wallace law firm in Wenatchee allegedly drove his car into a condominium last Friday night at 1410 McKittrick Street in Wenatchee. Cynthia Landon lives in the condo with her partner and two young children. She says the car barely missed her toddler when it came crashing through their living room.
The living room has been, it is completely damaged. Like I said, it's currently boarded up. But when he hit that, he just destroyed that outside wall, and then his car pushed everything. I think with the impact, it just pushed everything in the living room and destroyed all that. My partner was actually right next to it where it happened, when it happened, actually. And then we happened to be in the living room, but we were starting to get the kids. I was starting to get the kids ready for bed when that happened. So we're very lucky that we weren't in the living room where we were moments before, because he would have definitely hit one of the kids.
Landon says after the crash, Fraley's fled the scene. She says considering the impact the crash caused, it was surprising that Fraley could continue to drive the car.
After he hit that, he fled the scene, and there were a couple witnesses, and so one of them actually followed him but then lost him. And, this car was, I don't even know how he was able to pull this car out of there, but it was leaking fluids. All the pieces are still there at our condo, and anyways, he fled the scene, and then he turned himself in the next day.
Fraley's attorney John Brangwyn says Fraley believed he hit a tree and not the building, and says his client will plead not guilty to hit-and-run charges. Anti-abortion groups from throughout the country will be in Wenatchee on Saturday with a wide variety of events planned, including a demonstration of sorts during the Apple Blossom Grand Parade. The organizers have also circulated the Wenatchee home address of U.S. District Judge Stanley Allen Bastian. Bastian in late April ordered a preliminary injunction against a Trump administration rule that would have banned family planning clinics that receive federal money from offering abortion services or referrals. Wenatchee Police Chief Steve Crown said officers are aware of those planned protests.
We're reinforcing with our folks what the legal guidelines are for dealing with people that want to peacefully protest. And so we're just going to make sure from a public safety standpoint that we're going to make sure that people's rights are protected, while at the same time making sure that public safety is at the forefront as well.
However, Chief Crown said giving out the address of Judge Bastian does raise the concern level.
It's concerning. You have to do a little bit more in intel gathering to find out if this is just a harassment technique, or are they actually planning something. And so that's what we try to do from a public safety standpoint.
T. Russell Hunter, the Oklahoma founder of Abolish Human Abortion, will be one of the speakers at the anti-abortion events, and he told NCWLIFE News that he expects any demonstrations to be peaceful and informative. As far as giving out the judge's home address, Hunter said he's confident it was not done with any malicious intent.
I would say that there's not a violent bone in the body of anyone coming in that group, so any kind of like weird sort of conspiracy theory suspicions of media people or anything about something that might be done.
Well, the biggest yet delegation from our sister city, Misawa, Japan, was welcomed to town Wednesday during a ceremony outside Wenatchee City Hall. The 38 visitors include 9 dancers from the Kaguru dance troupe and 10 students. It's likely the last visit for Misawa's mayor, Kazimasa Tanichi. He, who at age 77, is not seeking re-election after holding the post since 2007. Well, coming up next, a packed room at the Wenatchee Convention Center on Wednesday celebrated volunteerism with the Apple Blossom Festival All-Service Club Luncheon. Among the bills by the state legislature as it raced to meet its midnight deadline for adjournment Sunday was the Long-Term Care Trust Act. And we'll have our weekly Kennel Cameos feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
I'm Clayton Walker, General Manager at Town Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Wenatchee, and I'd like to invite everyone to the dealership to see how easy it is to buy your next new or pre-owned vehicle at your local dealership.
And I'm Mick Fabian, General Sales Manager, and we currently have a huge selection of new and pre-owned vehicles on the lot to choose from, including the 2019 Motor Trend Truck and SUV of the Year.
So come on down to town and let us earn your business in 2019 at 1001 North Miller Street in Wenatchee.
I'm working today.
I've got some work to do today.
Don't forget, I've got some work for you today.
Have a good first day at work, Mom.
Thanks.
Your donations to Goodwill fund job training programs right in our community.
New beginnings feel great, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Be a job creator. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
Welcome back. In another news, a packed room at the Wenatchee Convention Center on Wednesday celebrated volunteerism with the Apple Blossom Festival All-Service Club Luncheon. NCWLIFE's Eric Granstrom was there, and he has more.
Apple Commission President Todd Fryover introduced the Apple Citizen of the Year.
And at this time, I'd like to ask all of you to join with me as a representative of the Washington State Apple Commission 100th year to welcome the Apple Citizen of the Year, Mr. Dalton Thomas.
I've been very fortunate to have 54 really good years. I wouldn't trade anything. Well, maybe I would. I'd trade a couple of the guys that forgot to pay me. But outside that, I've been a very lucky person. I've had wonderful people work for my company, and I'm very thankful. Thank you.
New Zealand's Mark Farnham and David Wright, the grandsons of Apple Blossom Festival founder Susan Wagner, tied their family and country to this 100-year-old festival.
The interesting thing is, at that stage, the area of Wenatchee that was producing apples was about the same size as a New Zealand sheep station. And by 1912, you were exporting more in dollar value than the whole of New Zealand. So that gives you an idea of the colonial spirit and the enthusiasm that your founders had. And seeing it today, I'm sure Granny Sue, with the marvelous organization of this, I'm sure she's looking down and going, wow, that this is just more than I could have ever dreamed of.
The keynote speaker for Thursday's luncheon was Make-A-Wish Alaska Washington Director Melissa Arias, who highlighted Wenatchee's own McKenna Schwab and her work with actor Chris Pratt to make such a huge contribution to Make-A-Wish.
As you know, McKenna, Chris, and Tiffany are not alone. McKenna talked about the 10 kiddos here in the Valley that were waiting for wishes, but in the state of Washington right now, we have over 7 school buses full of children who are waiting to get their wish. And you know what we need? We need people just like you in communities just like this to rise up and support these kids through your volunteerism.
And happy Apple Blossom, everybody.
At the Apple Blossom All-Service Club Luncheon, I'm Eric Granstrom for NCWLIFE Channel News.
In other news, among the bills by the state legislature as it raced to meet its midnight deadline for adjournment on Sunday was the Long-Term Care Trust Act. The insurance program is the first of its kind in the nation and will pay Washingtonians a maximum lifetime benefit of $36,500 to offset assisted living and other elder care costs. Beginning in 2022, the program will be funded by a payroll fee of 58 cents for every $100 of income, or $24 a month for someone earning $50,000 a year. State Senator Brad Hawkins told NCWLIFE News the bill had too many problems to earn his support.
Did not vote for that. That's the Long-Term Care Trust Act. Obviously, making sure we're protecting the most vulnerable citizens, is very important, and people's long-term care is a high priority. But I think there are ways that the private people can save through the private sector voluntarily rather than a forced payroll deduction, which is what people will be receiving for that. Anytime the government tries to step in and do things like that, it can be problematic. But, on the federal level, I think a lot of people look at Social Security and think that, the Social Security system, that might be a success, depending on how you look at it. But I think the government swooping into your paycheck is not something that I support, and I voted against that. And unfortunately, too, the projections of the money raised for the long-term care program won't even cover the cost of the program. So I think it's going to be something that will be revisited, and now that the baseline is established, we're probably going to see potentially some efforts in the future to make increases to that.
Time now for our weekly Kennel Cameos feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Penelope the dog is at the shelter looking for a good home.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCWLIFE channel. We are here with Jenny, the volunteer coordinator at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and joining us once again is Penelope, who really needs to find a good home.
So Penelope, we all love here. Penelope is about 5.5 years old. She's an active girl. She's been with us here at the shelter off and on for the last 2 years. So to say we want to find her a home is kind of an understatement. Prior to coming to us, she was in a shelter for 1.5 years in Texas. So this girl has lived the majority of her life in a shelter care, and so we just want to find her a really great home. She is the dog that we use when we go to assisted livings. She goes hiking with volunteers. She's been in classrooms as young as preschool age classrooms doing education on how to approach dogs. She's our go-to for events, for dog handling class. She's basically just our all-around gal here. She doesn't seem to like other dogs. She just really wants her person, but she's really pretty technically easy to walk on a leash. Yeah, I mean, we absolutely love Penelope. A good home for her would just be an active home where somebody would give her exercise, where she preferably had a fenced yard where she could go out and play. She loves to fetch, she loves to play with toys. All around, she's just a really good-natured dog.
And if someone's interested in adopting her, what should they do?
They should come down here and meet her. We're pretty sure if they met her, they'd love her too. So, yes.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come right here from Memorial Park on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
When you have to get there on time and looking good, call Fast, Friendly, Reliable AC Checker, 663-TAXI. Available 24/7, AC Checker Taxi has the industry's only on-time or it's free guarantee for your pre-booked call. Some conditions apply. Call 663-8294. AC Checker, 663-TAXI. Schedule your ride ASAP or book up to a year in advance online at azchecker.com. American Classic Checker Taxi, 663-TAXI. That's 663-8294.
Welcome back to the NCW.
And thank you much, Grant. Well, here we are at Memorial Park. All right, here we are. Sorry about that, Grant. Jumped in a little bit early on you. And here we are with the Director General, Dina Bollinger, for the 100th Washington State Apple Blossom Festival. What a luncheon yesterday for the All Service Club luncheon.
Wasn't that amazing? We had almost 600 people in attendance for the All Service Club lunch, and our speaker was amazing from Make-A-Wish, and our little Wish girl that lives right here in East Wenatchee was fantastic. In fact, we want her to be our Grand Marshal. We want her to be royalty. We want her to be everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had golf today. Yes. Of course, entertainment continues here at the park. We're getting ready for the big event. Well, tomorrow night you have something. Yeah, so tell us a little bit more about that for those that don't know.
Yeah, so we are bringing back the 100th Celebration Queen's Ball. We did one 25 years ago, and we're bringing all of our royalty back. Tomorrow night we have a ball. We have 500 people in attendance. We have over 165 returning royalty members, and it is going to be the best community event we've seen in 25 years.
Now, speaking of the royalty, we were hoping to get them here today, but you guys actually, after golf this morning, gave them the day off.
We did.
And they actually have jobs, and they have lives, and they're actually doing it today.
Well, and they were so excited to go home and just put their pajama pants on. There was talks of, like, Veronica Mars, they were just total kids right after the golf tournament, so it was cute. They're doing such a good job, and they are just rock stars. I couldn't be happier.
Grand Parade coming up Saturday morning, of course. We'll be up there again to broadcast it live here on the NCWLIFE channel. Are you just ready for the festival to be over, or do you just want to keep going for a few more weeks?
Every day I have a moment where I'm like, oh, and then I go, oh, but it's almost over. So no, everybody now has this reality that, come Sunday, our festival is over, and we planned for over, 3 years for the 100th celebration. So no, we are all just still riding the wave high, and we just cannot wait for the parade and to see all these beautiful ladies return. We have fabulous floats and some new bands. So, it's going to be the best parade ever.
Well, and, of course, with Dina Bollinger, the party never ends. And it looks like we're going to have great weather for a party over the next few days. Grant, back to you and the weather forecast.
And thank you very much, Eric. Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast, as Eric mentioned. Before we get to those details, and they are beautiful heading into this weekend, let's take another look outside our weather window, where we are seeing a rather breezy to even windy day today all across North Central Washington. It includes right here at Memorial Park. Blue skies out there, though, made for a pretty nice day with all that sunshine. Temperature-wise, as we take a look at today's almanac, we reached a high temperature today, unofficially, of 68 degrees. That's just a a tick above where we should be for this time of year at 67. We started off the day at 48 degrees, slightly above 44, which is our normal low temperature. Record high on this date, 85 beautiful degrees back in 2014. Record low, 35 back in 1997. Sunrise this morning, 5:43, and the sun will set tonight at 8:14. Let's put that surface loop in motion and see what we can expect over the next 6 days or so. And tonight, a northwest flow is sandwiched in between high pressure off to the left side of your screen. That's to the west, and low pressure just above Calgary in Alberta. That's bringing that wind down from the northwest right through north central Washington. That will continue tonight. The good news is high pressure will take over our weather pattern beginning on Friday, and that means our winds will relax a little bit, especially during the afternoon, and will start to really bring us warmer temperatures as a ridge builds over the Pacific Northwest. And then by Saturday for Grand Parade, our weather couldn't be better. With mostly sunny skies, we'll see light winds, high temperatures on Saturday for the parade, probably in the low to mid 70s, warming into the upper 70s by the afternoon. And on Sunday, high pressure firmly in control of our weather. We will continue to see sunny skies on Sunday and above normal temperatures where we could flirt with even 80 degrees. And you folks in Moses Lake in the Othello area, you have a great chance of seeing 80 this weekend. On Monday to start our next work week, you can see still a ridge of high pressure, those isobars up and over Washington State. That means mostly sunny conditions, mild with that dome of high pressure over north central Washington. That will continue into Tuesday with more of the same, sunny skies and high temperatures near 80. And Wednesday next week into midweek, boy, that high pressure is just staying put in the Pacific with beautiful weather, and that means lots of sunshine and temperatures on the warm side into the mid to upper 70s. Let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune forecast. Tonight we can expect 43 degrees for our overnight low. We'll see a beautiful one on Friday with 74, 46 our low. And then for Saturday and Sunday, our final apple blossom weekend, mostly sunny and 78 on Saturday, 78 as well on Sunday, and we'll stay in the upper 70s on Monday and Tuesday, possibly even 80 degrees looking forward to next Wednesday. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
With 15,000 square feet to explore, you'll find something special at the Antique Mall at Cashmere. For the do-it-yourselfers and those with a keen eye for making something old fresh and new again, the Antique Mall at Cashmere is the place to come find your next project. From the coin enthusiasts to avid collectors, Antique Mall at Cashmere has treasures in every corner. Come find your treasure today. Antique Mall at Cashmere's friendly staff is here to help. Stop on by today.
We get to a point where people are really like, okay, I have these weird things going on, and they just lay it all out with us, and you can tell they're like kind of embarrassed, and we're like, we've heard it all, we love this, and we know exactly what you're talking about. And you can tell they're like, you know, they came in thinking, how am I going to talk about this?
To me, there's nothing else in the world quite as special as when a baby is born, and why would I want to do anything else?
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a good afternoon and happy Thursday from Memorial Park. Eric Granstrom with you. Let's take a look at sports. The scene's now set for the Wenatchee Panthers. After Sunnyside knocked off Eisenhower, that means Wenatchee will be the number 3 seed heading into the postseason as far as soccer is concerned. That'll be a home play-in game on Friday at 6 against Moses Lake. Eastmont, meanwhile, will also have a home play-in game on Friday at 6 o'clock at Wildcat Stadium against the Davis Pirates. Coming up on the prep schedule for today in baseball, Waterville-Mansfield hosting Oroville in a doubleheader. Manson traveling to Lake Roosevelt. Cashmere hosting Omak, and Cascade on the road at Ellensburg. Prick softball looks very familiar with Shocker girls hosting the Hornets. Manson's at Lake Roosevelt, and Cashmere hosts Omak. Tonight's the battle for first in the 4A lacrosse and Central Lacrosse League as the Wenatchee Valley Thunder play host to the Richland Bombers. Basically, Wenatchee needs to win by 3 tonight to take first place. There's another big battle in high school sports today happening in Yakima, where the Wenatchee boys and girls tennis teams could wrap up the regular season title in the Big Nine if they knock off the Rams today. Also, it is a site for double dual track meets at Wenatchee High School today. Eastmont and Davis in town to take on the Panthers in the wind this afternoon. The Big Nine girls were at Rock Island Golf Course earlier today for their number 2 pod with all the Big Nine schools in for that. They were playing probably at Highlander had there not been the Apple Blossom Golf Tournament happening today. Mariners slide continues. They've now lost 4 straight after falling to the Chicago Cubs 11-0. They're in Cleveland to take on the Indians starting tomorrow in a weekend series. That's sports. Grant, back to you.
And thank you very much, Eric. And finally tonight, let's get it in. We go to NCWLIFE's Dan Kuntz, who continues his critique and rating of Apple Blossom food here at Memorial Park.
Here we are. It's Wednesday as we film this. It's the noon hour. It's time to have lunch. We're at Memorial Park as usual. It is May Day, and today I have a little bit of a quandary because our beloved news director, Cal Fitzsimmons, came down a number of days ago to enjoy the festivities here, and he said he got a steak sandwich. He said, I really enjoyed it. It was a very good steak sandwich. He just couldn't remember what booth he got it from. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can track down exactly what booth it was that Cal visited, and then I'm going to try that. So this is going to be a recommendation from our beloved news director, Cal Fitzsimmons. Have you seen this guy? He's been coming around. He's been ordering steak sandwiches. His name's Cal, and if you see him, tell him, authorities are looking for him. All right, all the authorities, not just particular ones. This guy had a steak sandwich. His name's Cal, and he just can't remember where he got it from. He really liked it. Where should I go? Do you know who serves steak sandwiches around here?
Serve steak sandwiches, sir.
It's pronounced gyros, not gyros. This guy, his name's Cal. If you see this man, authorities are looking for him. All right.
All right. Yeah, I wouldn't know. No, I don't know.
Right there? You think so? Hi, kids. Bob told me when your guys are done, when you close the till out, I'm supposed to come and get the money.
After you buy, what, 100 funnel cakes?
Yeah, or maybe 2 or 3. Yeah. Let's take a look here. Do you recognize this guy?
No.
You don't? Any idea where I should go from here?
Yeah, I'd probably just keep walking.
Okay, so far no luck on the steak sandwich. The Who will be performing tonight. They'll be doing Tommy the Rock Opera in its entirety, plus some of your favorite Who classics. Hey, you don't serve steak sandwiches by chance, do you?
Not exactly.
Let's see, orange chicken.
We have the Western burger. That's a steak sandwich.
I think we just do that. I mean, because I'm hungry enough. I'm Dan. I'm from the local TV station. Hi, this is Cal, by the way. He's our beloved. I'm sorry, I keep saying beloved. He's our news and advertising dude at this TV station. You got something on your wrist there, Chris.
Yes.
Yeah, you should get that checked. Okay.
There you go.
And I'm ready to go with this baby.
Yes, you do. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Well, thank you.
I'm going to tackle this baby right here and now. I'll need a roll of paper towels and a bathrobe. All right, thank you. Pretty small crowd for the Who. Cal wasn't kidding. This is good. Oh, yeah, this is good stuff. Good call, Cal. My good friend and colleague. Well, Cal anyway. Good job, Cal. Nice call. This photo, copyright 2012 Wenatchee World, all rights reserved. I'm going to finish lunch now. We're here in the NCWLIFE channel newsroom. It's our beloved and award-winning news director, Cal. So this is what I got, Cal. Is this, in fact, the steak sandwich you were referring to?
No, it's not, Dan. I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, did you get the memo on not paying for lunches anymore?
I don't have to?
Right. Yes.
Cal Fitzsimmons, award-winning. Oh, by the way, you can have this picture back. Nobody recognized you, by the way. So, I guess we'll try again tomorrow.
And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight from Memorial Park in Wenatchee. Thanks for joining us. I'm Grant Olson. Have a great night, and we hope you join us again tomorrow night. We'll be live in East Wenatchee. Good night, everyone.